Hello and welcome to David and Betsy's Anti-Inflammatory Diet. It's day 31. David keeps hiding his chocolate. Bring it back up here, David. What do you have there?
70% cocoa.
Mine's 78. 70 is the minimum. So how's it going, David?
It's great. How are you?
I'm okay.
We did it. We're through. We made it all the way through. 31 days. Hard to believe.
Yeah. So what have been some of the highs and lows for you?
Well, a lot of lows because there have been a lot of no's. And those no's are, I don't know, cereal other than Cheerios.
I didn't know
Soda.
you were so reliant upon cereal.
I love cereal. Every day, bowl of cereal. Thank goodness for the Cheerios.
Okay.
No chips. No soda.
It's interesting that chips and soda really don't have any redeeming nutritional quality to them.
No bread, which that's a much bigger problem because I love a good sandwich. Even a peanut butter sandwich is a good lunch. It always been a highlight of lunch. No ice cream, no cakes and cookies, no candies,
I like the sweets.
no pizza.
You like the pizza.
It's been a rough month, but
I don't know if
it is
I'd
what
say
it is.
rough because there's been some good things. What have you gotten out of this?
What have I gotten out of it? Well,
What are the good things?
I mean, first of all, like I said earlier this month, an appreciation for anybody that has to be on a restrictive diet. Like, there's an empathy there that wasn't there before. There's no question about that.
Okay.
The big question is, did it work?
And
And for me, the answer is yes. I, like you, was a skeptic. But how did it work? Well, number one, I have not felt any lethargy this month. Like, that's been a surprise. That was like kind of an epiphany a few days ago. Like, I hadn't thought about it, and every day, 3 or 4 o'clock, usually I need some sort of pick-me-up, whatever. And I haven't needed that this month. I felt good in the afternoon. Probably a result of not having a lot of sugars, or none. I mean, other than maybe what's in this little 70% cocoa. But also my back feels better.
okay.
And I have a little bit of arthritis in my spine and in my back. And, I'd lay there maybe reading for a while in a lay down position. And before I would be getting up, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But then now it's kind of like I got a little pep in my step. And I know
When did you start noticing that?
like a week and a half in.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even before I had that, I had to take those prednisone pills for my headaches, which were unrelated. But, and then finally, just it's worked because I think I've kind of hit the reset button and I'm more focused on eating a little bit more healthy. Like, I've avoided those unnecessary fillers and it's more conscious. And I think that's good. Like, I knew my right knee, which has been arthritic for 8 years. I knew that wasn't going to just automatically heal. That wasn't going to happen. But I do feel like once this other injury heals in the next week or two, and I can start getting out there again, that I'll have a little more pep in my step. So I'm actually really happy that we did this.
Well, that's good.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, there have been ups and downs, things we've learned and things that have been difficult and things we've gotten out of it. So if we talk about those categories, we start with things that have been difficult. For me, it's been difficult, as I've shared, in terms of getting enough carbohydrates and enough calories in to have good runs and good workouts. This type of elimination diet that doesn't allow flour and sugar, added sugars or sweeteners, it's hard to get enough carbs if you're an athlete. So that is one thing that I definitely think that I would adjust moving forward is how do we get carbs? That's one thing. The other thing that's been hard for me, which is maybe different for you, is, well, maybe not, but meal prep, like knowing there's nothing quick and easy. I mean, there are, but it's still not convenient. You have to still plan for it. Even if we grab a rotisserie chicken and a salad, we still have to plan to do that. You can't just like all right, I'm home, it's late, I'm gonna eat a sandwich or some cereal or a frozen pizza. You can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do that moving forward. Like, that's gonna be the most difficult thing, because the days where you work till 8 o'clock or 7:30, I mean, and I'm getting home at 6, I can't really do a whole lot. So
Right.
it has been like, let's just make a frozen pizza. And I'm sure we'll do that once in a blue moon, but I don't think we'll do it like with the you know, the amount of times that we used to.
Yeah, and while I have enjoyed, I mean, I like
Frequency.
to cook, and I like to cook from scratch, and I've liked experimenting and being creative and doing things, getting pushed outside my box. I also don't always have time for that. Yeah, and not only that. So it's one thing to make dinner from scratch and to plan a meal and all that, but breakfast and lunches where I don't usually cook, I'm kind of grabbing some things, putting some stuff together conveniently. Those are hard.
It takes an all-in effort to do this, to do it well. Mm-hmm. Making a smoothie even just takes time.
And I'm thinking about, like, right now it's summer and there's a lot of things available, but if it was January or February and I was eating apples and oranges and romaine lettuce, I'd be pretty bored with the variety, with the lack thereof.
Yeah.
So that's been hard. But what about what you've learned?
What do you mean?
What have you learned from this?
Well, I mean, I've learned a lot. I mean, I didn't really think about added sugars and things much, and flour. Like, flour never even crossed my mind. I mean, obviously I knew what the difference between fresh foods and processed foods, but I really hadn't made a dent in what my actual choices were. And I feel like I was at kind of a crossroads when, you know, we started this a month ago, and kind of everything, a confluence of events all happened at the same time, and it was kind of like, let's do this. I've learned that I need to just take a little bit more proactive action here and be more mindful. Like, you know, instead of having 2 donuts, I need to limit it to half a donut or something like that. Get the taste, get the enjoyment. Tomorrow night, when I indulge in my pizza, I think I'm gonna give myself 1 day to kind of do whatever I want. And then September 2nd, I'm gonna be right back on the bandwagon and just say, there are things that I can appreciate. I can appreciate plain yogurt with berries. Like, I can have a cup of berries. It was delicious. I think that salmon and maybe another different kind of fish or something twice a week is a good thing.
Are you tired of salmon?
It doesn't have to be salmon. I don't mind the chickpea pasta, believe it or not. Like, the way you made it the second time, where it wasn't all foamy and nasty, that was way better than the time where I made it. So,
Sorry, I'm laughing at that.
but it's true.
That's a little bit of just knowledge,
But it's true.
experience.
So what I'm saying though is that out of the 15 meals a month that we used to just kind of punt on,
Wing it.
I feel like if we can get that down to 5 or 6, you know, I can deal with red meat twice a week instead of 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Like, as just it's fine. Ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever. That's fine. It doesn't change anything in my quality of life.
Right.
And if it can help my quality of life, then why not? So my goal is also to keep losing some of this weight. I don't need to lose it at this rate. I'm hopeful to start exercising soon, but hopefully this can happen within, 12 weeks instead of, I don't need to lose 9 pounds in the next 4. So by Christmas time, if I can be down under 200, that would be amazing.
So in terms of what you've learned, you've expanded your food options. You've tried some new things. You've opened up your mind to other options and discovered that you could survive.
Yeah, and anyone that knows me knows I'm a skeptic, and I'm kind of set in my ways, and I'm kind of like, this is what I like to do. Never any diets ever in the past. Never, ever.
Never, I know.
No.
You haven't. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, and so if anybody's out there watching this and they're thinking to themselves that they need a little bit of a health reset, it's possible.
Yeah.
And I'm happy we did it, in all honesty.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we're done now.
I'm glad that it doesn't have to be this strict.
Yeah.
This strict.
So some of the things I've learned were that as a dietitian, I've made a lot of choices that I thought were, pretty healthy, not bad choices. Like, for example, some of the foods I've considered healthy, like Triscuit crackers. Let's be honest, I love them.
Rosemary flavored.
They're whole grain shredded wheat.
That's bad?
No,
Oh, that's good.
but they have this oil in them. I can't remember what type of oil. It's high in omega-6s. And so a lot of the shortcuts I was taking because there were other healthy parts to the food, maybe I started looking a little bit more closely. And things like sugars and sweeteners, which generally I've kind of had an attitude of, well, a little bit's okay because I'm an athlete, I'm going to burn off the carbs. I didn't even stop and think about how much stuff we put sugar and sweeteners into. So I mentioned Greek yogurts, chips. We keep chips around. Let's have a handful of chips with our lunch. We're eating a healthy lunch. Let's have a handful of chips. Those are terrible for omega-6s. I just never even paid attention. I'm like, yeah, so soybean oil, it's a plant. So what? But they're not. That's not good.
And that's something I feel like I could eliminate. Like a month ago, I would have been like, you're nuts. But soda, chips,
Yeah.
like I could have Cheerios every day for the rest of my life, and I'd be like, okay, whatever, that's
Not
fine.
me. But I do need my sprouted grain bread. But yeah, lost my train of thought there. We were talking about chips and other things
It's just not necessary.
that aren't necessary. White bread. You know what? Let's be honest, people. David loves a good white bread. I love butter, okay? I'm only using the white bread
As the conduit.
as a conduit, as a vehicle to eat chunks of butter. And not only did I eat less bread on this past month, but I've eaten less butter. And I opened my eyes up and I discovered that actually I like the olive oil butter. Tastes good. It's smooth and soft. Saves me 30 calories per tablespoon.
Why not?
And I like it.
I don't care what.
A little lower. So anyway, whatever. So those are some of the things we learned.
So next steps. What are we gonna do?
Well, hold on. You talked about what you had gotten out of this, and I didn't yet.
Oh, I thought you just did.
No. So David lost 8.5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Mhm.
My first 2 weeks, I lost a little and then gained a little and thought I was kind of net zero. But it's interesting the past couple of weeks that's kind of been just melting away. And my net down is 5 pounds, which is significant. It's not like just a fluke, I think. I mean, a couple pounds here and there maybe, but 5 pounds overall. And I don't know why. I don't know why the first couple weeks, because I haven't eaten more or less the second couple weeks. I almost wonder if as inflammation goes down, maybe there's a bit of fluid that's going down. Inflammation, I do feel like in terms of the shoulder that's been bothering me since April that I took steroids for, I do feel like it's 80% better.
I needed some fluids.
Yeah. I do think, I will say that over the past couple weeks, I've actually been able to lie on that shoulder and sleep on that shoulder for a few hours at a time.
Verified.
I hadn't been able to do that in several months. Is that a coincidence? Perhaps. If that were isolated, I would say, meh, we don't really know. But other parts of my body, my joints, my thumbs, I know it sounds so silly, people, but I get pain in my thumbs. My thumbs feel better. My lower back feels good. My hips feel good. The only thing that I will say, I don't really think that this has helped, is some of the tendons, like soft tendon, soft tissue inflammation. I have a little tendonitis in both elbows and in my left foot. I don't think that's any better or worse. I think that's kind of status quo. But that's good. I did notice the first couple weeks, I did think my skin was looking better. So skin issues, I've been sleeping well. Digestive issues have been really good. Digestion's not been an issue at all. Feeling good, no reflux, no constipation, none of that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Next steps.
Right. So the question is always about, so I was at the Global Leadership Conference a few weeks ago, and they were talking about, one of the speakers talked about diminishing returns. And, the curve, like you work, things get better, and you reach this point where you're working harder and things aren't really getting appreciably better. And actually, you can get to the point where you're working so hard that what you're getting out of it actually declines. And we have to find that sweet spot where we're working enough to get good returns and get something out of it, but that we're not working so hard and killing ourselves so hard over that that's not worth it.
Yep.
So, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm gonna rejoin the world of gluten and have a little bit of pizza, and I'm gonna be okay with that. We'll see how I feel, but I'm gonna try to be smart and isolate my snacks to fruits, more vegetables, less cookies, less chips, no soda, minimal soda, and we'll check back in, I don't know, a week or two, and we'll see where we're at.
Okay. I'm gonna add some, I'm not planning to add in white breads, chips, refined flour, because I just never cared about it anyway. But I do want some whole grains and some vehicles for my peanut butter. So I'm gonna add back my sprouted grain Ezekiel bread. I really love it, with a thick slab of natural peanut butter on it. That's one thing. Whole wheat pastas I am gonna add back on Friday night, so I can have a good weekend exercise routine with lots of carb. That's for sure. And I'm gonna let myself have dessert once a week, because let's be honest,
We don't eat it every day.
I love ice cream, okay?
We used to have it 6 days a week.
Because I love it.
I didn't eat it.
I can eat frosting from a tub, no cake necessary.
I've seen it.
I do have a sweet tooth. So actually, this is probably the longest time in my life I've gone without sweets, a whole month, other than the dark chocolate squares. But I'm gonna let myself have dessert once a week starting tomorrow.
Nice. Well done.
You too.
I'm gonna finish out. We just finished off a bottle of wine that we had been saving for 4 years. So
It was very good.
congrats on
To
a great
us,
month.
I can't cheers you because I already drank mine.
She already finished
Cheers.
it. And see you in September.
We'll bring you some updates. Thanks everybody who's been tuning in and giving us support. Good night.